Good Sunday evening, everybody. I'm meteorologist Tim Pandajis here with your Atlantic tropical update. Still have got Sam out there, although no longer a major hurricane. And Victor, which is weakened to a tropical depression, probably won't survive much longer, maybe the next 24 hours, and that's about it. So we'll focus mainly on Sam right now and another wave that may be developing in the short term, although chances are pretty low for that. We'll get to that in a little while. But first, here is Sam traveling to the northeast pretty quickly now at 20 miles an hour. Winds are at 105. Now, earlier today, they had dropped as low as 100, and it's actually strengthened a little bit despite being at such a higher latitude. You can see even an eye has cleared out within the last 12 hours as it continues to chug its way northeastwards. Pressure has come down even a little bit as well, down to 957 millibars, but it is no longer a major Category 3 hurricane. It spent over 7 days as a major hurricane, over a week, 7 and almost 8 days. Now it's at a Category 2 with 105 mile per hour winds, high-end Category 2, and it will maintain that for a little while longer, and then really start to fall apart as it gets into cooler waters and goes into a transition to a post-tropical cyclone in the North Atlantic. So we've been talking about Sam for a while now, 12 days in fact, so it's tied with the longest lifetime of a 2021 Atlantic tropical cyclone. That's with Larry. That also was around for 12 days. Sam will beat it though because it's got another 4 or 5 days to go before it will be kind of falling apart, so it'll end up around 17 days or so. So this is from a tropical depression onwards, and these are number of days with a National Hurricane Center advisory. Now, you may be looking at Nicholas and saying 6 days. Well, there were advisories on that for like an extra week after that, but those were from the Weather Prediction Center. After it moves over land, the NHC hands it off to the Weather Prediction Center, so they're no longer giving advisories. So this is just NHC advisories, National Hurricane Center. Now, what's interesting with Sam is its wind field. As tropical cyclones gain latitude, their wind field spreads out, and as they transition to extratropical, post-tropical, you find those strongest winds away from the center. It's no longer getting all of its energy from the warm ocean waters. It's getting it more baroclinically. There are differences in temperatures, and fronts are involved in that sort of thing, a little more complicated. But right now, winds, hurricane force winds at least, 74 miles an hour or greater, are getting a measure about 60 miles out from the center. Pretty large. But even more interesting is tropical storm force extending out 210 miles from the center. And as we go forward, that wind field expanding further, that's expected to get out to 400 plus miles from the center. So an 800 diameter wind field, 800 mile diameter wind field. Pretty impressive there. All right, water vapor satellite, that'll pop up here in just a second. We'll also show that dry air really not an issue with this system going forward. It's kind of, in a moist environment overall. Some dry air off to the southwest, but none of it getting pulled into the system. You can see that dried out, cleared out eye in the center of Sam still. There's the forecast track. Again, it hasn't impacted land, which has been the great thing, and it won't in the near future here as it heads to the north and eventually up towards Iceland by the time we get towards Thursday and Friday. So why did it strengthen randomly in the North Atlantic? Well, you see this line here of some warmer waters. This is the Gulf Stream that extends all the way out, and it tapped into some of that warmer water just in the last 8 hours or so, and that gave it just a little bit more boost of energy. Ocean heat content not really existing in this part of the Atlantic, more down to the south where that warmer water extends down to more of a depth. So we've had Sam, we've had Teresa, we've had Victor, we've had 20 of the 21 predetermined names for the 2021 list. We've got Wanda to go. No longer will we go to the Greek alphabet like we've done twice before, last year in 2005. We're no longer using that. We have a supplemental list of names now, another 21 that we'll likely tap into with about 2 months left in the season. First name is Adria, Braylon, and then Caridad. Do we have a contender for Wanda? Possibly. This is another wave here that's now sitting over north of Hispaniola, very disorganized, and you see the chances on here, 10% within 2 days, 20% within 5, as it heads potentially towards the southeast coast of the United States. This part of the ocean is the favorable climatologically this time of year. But I think wind shear will be a little too strong in this area. That's why the chances are so low, so we're not likely going to see that develop. But it's the only wave we're watching out there in the Atlantic right now. So until next time, have a great rest of your week or rest of your weekend, and enjoy your week ahead. You can find me on social media, Twitter, Instagram, and on Facebook. We'll see you next time.